Hi guys and girls, I'm Ian. Welcome back to the channel. It's my second video on my Focus ST now. At least a second video in which I speak whilst looking at the camera. Today I'm going to be showing you how to fit a short shift kit on the Focus ST225. It's a dead easy job. You need minimal tools and it should take you about 10 minutes at most. Some of you might struggle if you've only got a short screwdriver and that sort of thing, but yeah, 10 minutes. Roll the intro. Here we are, guys. Let's do this. Okay, so to start with, you need to know that I've got a pre-facelift ST, but I've bought the facelift ST gear knob. Now, it doesn't matter which one you have, whether you've got the pre-facelift or the facelift, they come off in exactly the same way. They just unscrew. So initially, what we're going to have to do is get the gear knob off and this gear surround off, okay, just to gain access to where the quick shift is going to fit. So what I'm going to do is just grab the lever at the front of here, yeah, and pop that up, or even at the back. Yeah, go from the back first. It's a little bit easier. There you go. And this bit pops off. Then you can just unscrew your gear stick. Dead easy. There we go. Look at that. God, it's so warm today, it's untrue. Okay, so you can see I've got my quick shift already fitted in there, but I'm just going to show you how to do it. It's about a 10-minute job, so it shouldn't take you too long. This gear surround literally just rips off. So if you grab it at the back, there's 4 clips. There's one under here, one here, and then 2 at the front. Okay, just grab that at the back and pop it off. Okay, it's a bit of a yank, but it comes off without breaking. Stick that to one side, and that just gives you more access around here. Okay, so your quick shift comes in 2 parts. You've got this block, which is in 2 halves. You can see that they're screwed together, and then you've got this other part down there which is in place. Okay, now you see this white shaft here. Now imagine that that black anodized aluminium pot isn't there. This shaft sits lower in between this sort of cream plastic moulding, yeah, and this bit here sits on there, on that bobble, yeah. I call it a nipple, but that just sounds rude. Okay, so that sits on here, and you need to prise that off with a screwdriver. Okay, that's the first job you need to do. Now, so you don't scratch anything, what I'd do is, let me just open the door so I've got a bit more room. I use a microfiber cloth, and I put that over the plastic, because when you're levering this off, you don't want to start breaking or scratching any of your console up. Now, the screwdriver I'm using is this. So it's a flat 10mm headed screwdriver, but it's quite long, which means that I'm going to have enough leverage just to pop the end of that shaft off this. Okay, but as I say, bear in mind that this is going to be sitting on this one down here, if you can see that. So you get your screwdriver, levering on your microfiber cloth so it doesn't knacker your plastic up. You put it underneath the head, effectively like this, like that, and then lever down and then pop that head off of this nipple here. Okay, so this end will be loose, and you can move this over here out the way. Okay, you can move this bit over here out the way while you do the next bit. And the next bit involves releasing this shaft from out of this cream plastic moulding. Okay, now you can see this black plastic collar here, yeah. Well, on the other side of that, behind it, there's another plastic collar, and if you grab that with your finger and your thumb, your forefinger and your thumb, you push that collar forwards and this shaft just lifts out of its mount. Okay, if you don't push that collar forward, you're just going to have a wriggle on your hands, and you're going to be effing and blinding because you can't get this shaft out of position. Just grab that collar on the other side of this black plastic thing here, so it's behind it, sort of towards the front of the car, and push that collar forwards towards the front of the car, and this shaft will lift out, and that renders this shaft completely loose. Then what you need to do is this aluminium part here, that one down there, it comes in two parts. There's a sort of short flat piece that fits across the back that these two screws, you can see those two shiny screws that they screw into. Initially, what I do is completely remove those screws and put some thread lock on the end, so that when you screw them back in and you tighten them up, they're not going to come loose due to vibration. Whoa, there's a huge wasp. Whoa, out of it. Jeez. God, I hate wasps. Excuse me. Right, okay, so where was I? Yeah, putting thread lock on the end of these two screws. Put them loosely back into the plate that goes across the back, and then slide this black anodised aluminium piece in place. You'll see where it goes. It's dead easy. You should actually get instructions with these, with the kit. On eBay it said there will be instructions, but I didn't actually receive any. But it's quite self-explanatory. Once it's in place, I think it's a 4mm Allen key that you need, and you just tighten those two screws up, okay? Next thing you need to do is fit this piece. Okay, now as I said, it does come in two parts. 6 minutes, this is a long video. It does come in two parts. Remove all the screws, put some thread lock on the end, and then screw them loosely back in. Slide this block over the top of the gear stick in place, okay? And obviously it's not going to fit on this upper section, it's going to fit on this lower section after this bend, okay? Now the first time I locked it off in place, it was a little bit too high up, because the higher you have this, the shorter the throw, okay? And the lower you have it, the longer the throw of your gear stick. You can see this line here, it's like a little scratch, yeah? That is where I first actually mounted it and locked it off. And when I put the gear stick back on, the throw was a little bit too short and a bit too notchy and stiff, and I didn't really like it. So I've lowered it, only about 3 or 4 mil, and it's made a world of difference. So the throw isn't quite as short as it was before, but it's a lot shorter than it was originally. When you come to tighten these screws up, treat them the same as you would do when you're tightening your wheel nuts up. So to tighten them up in a diagonal fashion. So you do this one, and then the one diagonally opposite, and then this one, and then back to this one. Just so this tightens up evenly around your gear stick, and it's not sort of out of line and it risks cracking it or anything like that. Once it's in place, that's pretty much it. Next thing to do is to put this surround back in place. So just offer that in position and push it down like that. Jobs are good. And put your gear stick back on, if I can find it. What the, there we go. Just screw that back on. Let's get that nice and straight. Yeah. And then refit the leather. Just press that in place. I think if you start at the front when you're refitting it, and then pop the back in, job done. So you'll see it's a nice, short, notchy throw. There's not much movement there at all. It's really quite good. It does change the feel of the car. It feels a bit more like a racing car. It's really cool. So yeah, as I say, these cost about 35 quid, I think, something like that. I think AirTech sell one for about 40. I'm not sure if you're paying for the name, because they're all going to be billet aluminium machined parts, so they're all going to be the same. And it's probably one of the cheapest little mods you'll do for the car, that makes the car feel a bit different. Okay, so I think this video gives you enough information to actually be able to do this job yourself. As I say, it should take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. Yeah, get your 30 quid out, go and buy yourself a short shift. They're really cool. Cheers.